As the coronavirus pandemic persists with no end in sight, it's taking a crushing economic toll on a large number of Americans struggling to keep a roof over their heads. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Barbara Lee Edwards. A new study finds nearly a third of families could not afford to fully pay their rent or mortgage this month. This as California's Judicial Council had eyed a move this week to lift the statewide moratorium on evictions early. News 8's Richard Allen has more on that and which Californians could be most seriously impacted.
Well, that's right. This nationwide study is alarming, finding that in June, 30% of respondents were unable to make their full housing payment, just 1% less than the month before.
There's a huge number of people out there who are struggling to make their housing payments.
Rob Warnock is research analyst with Apartment List, which is conducting this ongoing study. It finds that among homeowners, 26% are concerned about foreclosure, and among renters, the outlook is even more bleak.
37% said that they were at least somewhat concerned that an eviction would be forthcoming in the next half of a year.
Currently, a moratorium on eviction statewide remains in effect. On Wednesday, California's Judicial Council had been considering a move to lift that moratorium in August, instead of waiting until 90 days after Governor Newsom's state of emergency order is lifted. While the council ultimately decided to delay making a decision, tenants' rights groups and legal experts are still watching the case closely. They say that persons of color would be disproportionately impacted.
If we are going to allow the courts to reopen and evictions to start up again, the people who are going to be most harmed are the very people who are out on the streets right now asking for greater equality in our society.
It's a truly terrifying thought that evictions can start taking place a lot sooner than anticipated.
Rafael Bautista leads San Diego Tenants Union, which has led local protests against apartment owners who are not working with tenants struggling to make their rent.
About 10 to 15% of landlords are not trying to work with tenants. They're trying to intimidate them, trying to pressure them into paying whatever they have, money they're surviving on.
Bautista, who is calling for a rent strike, a cancellation of rent, is concerned that once the moratorium is eventually lifted, more families will have nowhere to turn but the streets.
If there's a massive wave of evictions taking place, we know that based on studies, that there's going to be a severe spike in homelessness.
And if you'd like to take a look at the full report, just go to CBS8.com and click on the Help button.